Right now, for more on the defamation case, defense and trial attorney Misty Marris. Good to see you, Misty.
Good morning, Fred.
All right, so back to the New York case. U.S. District Judge Lewis Kaplan has already found Trump liable for defaming Eugene Carroll while he was president. This jury will now decide the amount of damages. So how will they come to a figure?
Right now, the most critical testimony is going to happen today, and this is Eugene Carroll takes the stand. The recoverable damages in a defamation case relate to the emotional distress, they're compensatory damages, the damage to reputation. So what she's going to do on the stand today is explain how the statements that are at issue in this case, which relate to 2019 statements where Trump said, she's lying, I never met her, judge already decided the defamation happened. She's going to explain how those statements impacted her, damaged her reputation. And we heard a lot in the opening, and I expect her to extrapolate on that on the stand. She said that he basically used a megaphone in the most powerful platform as the president of the United States on the lawn to talk about how she's a liar and how that garnered significant blowback from his followers, which has led her to fear for her safety. So we're going to hear about that. Now, on the flip side, the defense is going to try and narrow this and say any damages have to relate specifically to this 2019 statement. And they're going to say, as we heard in the opening, that she's actually benefited from a larger platform. So those are the two competing arguments. And ultimately, the jury will decide what, if any, damages are appropriate.
So the jurors are going to be listening to that testimony. Are they also going to be taking into account that separate civil trial in which Trump was found liable for sexually assaulting Carroll and hit with a $5 million verdict? Might all of that in totality influence the defamation case damages?
That is a great question. And the answer is that other trial is actually not relevant in the courtroom on this particular case. While that trial found Trump liable and is the reason for the sexual assault, found Trump liable for sexual assault, that's the reason why we're not talking about liability in the courtroom. We're only talking about damages. While it's not relevant to the jury's determination, it does foreshadow how the jury in that particular, the other case found. Now, that was a $5 million verdict, $2 million allocated to the sexual assault, $3 million to defamatory statements relating to 2022 statements made by Donald Trump. So a lot of the evidence that we're going to see with respect to Eugene Carroll, it's going to be similar. It's going to be about that reputational damage. There's going to be expert testimony relating to that. And so the arguments are the same. But in this case, there's another focus, Fred, and this is really important. The plaintiff, Eugene Carroll, is saying deterrence, deterrence, deterrence. And since this case has even been in the courtroom, there's been 22 more comments and tweets by Trump. So they're pointing that out. And that's going to be a primary factor in their arguments.
So that potentially ups the ante? I mean, if there was a pursuit of $10 million,
Exactly.
the more, I guess, alleged offenses or remarks, the price keeps going up, the penalty.
That's exactly it, Fred. That's the plaintiff's position. And the defense position is you just have to focus on that 2019 statement. So those are the competing interests in the courtroom.
Okay. Misty Marris, great to see you today. Thanks so much.